how to write a demand letter for a personal injury case. Now, a demand letter in a personal injury case is essentially a demand letter that an injured party sends to the insurance company of the person that caused the injury, demanding they pay money to compensate for the injuries. So, for example, if Pat rear ends Chris's car and Chris is injured, then Chris is going to send a demand letter to Pat's insurance company saying, hey, Pat's insurance company, pay me money for my injuries caused by Pat. So what's actually in the demand letter? Well, it's truly a letter, and it starts with very basic things. You're writing to the insurance company, so you're going to need to know their name, address, things like that. You need to put down the name of the person they insure and put down the policy number if you've got that. Now, if you've already had contact with the other person's insurance company and they've given you a claim number, include the claim number. If you don't have one yet, obviously you cannot include it. So you address it to the insurance company, and then what do? You obviously have to identify the people involved in the accident, the person they insure, and you. And then you need to give them a little narrative about what happened. I was on this street at this intersection at this time and date, and your insured ran into me. And that tells the insurance company why their insured is liable and why they're going to need to pay you money. Now, if you just tell them that in a narrative, that's good, that's common, but it's even better if you've got a police report to go through it, or possibly if the police don't come, it's on private property, maybe there's some sort of an incident report. But if you have something besides just your own words to bolster proof that, in fact, their insured is the one that caused the accident, that's great, and attach it. If you don't have that, that's fine. Send your letter without that. What else do you need? You need to show the economic damages broken down by category. And what are your economic damages? Well, if it's a car rear end accident, you're going to say, hey, my car's damaged, that needs to be fixed. Hey, I'm injured, my medical bills are this much. And hey, on top of that, I missed work, so give me this much money for my lost work. Then also non-economic damages. And what are those? That would be like pain and suffering, emotional distress, things like that. So you throw that in there as well with an explanation. And also include your contact information. That's extremely important, because once the insurance gets this letter, the insurance company, they're going to look at it and say, hey, first thing we need to do is figure out if there's liability, meaning if the party they insure actually is liable for causing the damages. So if they've got a police report and the police report shows that their guy got ticketed or cited, something like that, they're going to go, aha, okay, liability is covered, so it looks like we're going to owe it. So now the second question they have is, well, how much money do we owe? And that is determined by the documentation you provide them about your injuries. So they're going to look at that and they're going to come up with some sort of evaluation, and they're going to want to get back in touch with you, which is why it's very important for you to have your contact information included. So what are they going to do? Well, they may accept the claim. If you said, hey, give me X dollars, and they look at it and go, hey, that's a pretty good deal, they might just say, accept the claim. They'll say, hey, we'll send you a release in exchange for a check, and you're done. Alternatively, they might deny the claim. They're going to say, hey, you know what? We don't think our insured actually caused the damage, so we're denying it. That happens a lot. In fact, a lot of insurance companies seem to do that right out of the gate. What else are they going to do? They could request additional information. They could say, okay, we see these facts you've told us, but we don't have enough evidence to document our file. We don't have enough proof, so send us this, this, and this. So that happens too sometimes. Alternatively, they might send a counteroffer. So if you sent them something saying, hey, pay me $25,000, they may send you something back saying, hey, you know what? I don't want to pay you $25,000, but I'll pay you $10,000, something like that. So that's kind of the purpose of your demand letter, and how it goes from there is up to you and them and possibly an attorney. So let's talk about the attorney part really quick. If you've got a really small claim, it's hundreds, maybe a few $1,000s, an attorney is probably not going to get really excited about it. It might be hard to find an attorney to take your claim, and you might be better off doing it yourself anyway, because attorneys work on a contingency, which means they take a percentage of your claim. So if it's a pretty small claim, not only, number one, will it possibly be hard to find an attorney excited about the claim, but number two, if there's not a lot of money, you certainly don't want somebody else taking part of it if they don't need to. On the flip side, if you've got a pretty big claim and it's got things in it that are somewhat complex, possibly trying to prove it might be a little complex, or maybe you've got some future damages that's going to require experts, it's probably a good idea to go and contact an experienced personal injury lawyer just to make sure that you don't get taken advantage of.